Hello, hello, and welcome to F Them Fish, AuDHD for Grownups with your neurodivergent besties. That is me, Callie Elward-Barrett, and my orange coral today co-host.
Pretty hot pink, Jayne Gurton.
We're here to talk about all things neurodivergent, that is work, life, relationships, overwhelm, weird brain stuff, and all the things nobody else is properly explaining. So if that is your jam, stick around. But as you know, fair warning if this is your first time here, we does swear a touch. Just a little bit.
We love a good swear. I'm a bit of a dumb bitch today, and I'm willing to admit it, so we love a good swear.
That is fine. I have got a slightly croaky voice today, so everyone is just going to have to deal with that. I'm so sorry. We also have a guest in that we should probably introduce because we're just getting into it and just talking without introducing him. This is the wonderful Rhys joining us today.
Hello, how are we?
Rhys, would you like to introduce yourself? Because I could talk about you, but you are, probably say it better than me.
I am Rhys. I'm a mining professional from WA, but I'm also Kelly's brother. How do we?
That guy's
brother-ish?
Yeah.
We'll go with brother-ish.
Brother-ish.
So I'm family over here from Perth, visiting some family in Canberra, and this is where I'm staying, at the podcast house.
Yeah, we're currently in the Nook.
We are in the
Welcome
Nook.
to Pod HQ Nook, Rhys. I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, and Rhys is underselling himself a little bit because there's a little bit more to him in that men's mental health space, which we will get into later. But first of all, I was going to tell you why I got a cranky voice. A creaky voice. And my voice isn't cranky. It was cranky earlier when I was just trying to sort the tech out. But, I mean, that just is what it is. It's a bit creaky today because I saw my faves last night.
Who are your faves? Tell me everything.
Thirsty Merc. Went to see them at the Beso. So the Beso are our faves. They're a location here in Canberra. Thirsty Merc, the band, are my favourite band ever. And I was obviously front row barriers. I get there early and then I don't move. I will stay through 17 warm-ups if I have to. I don't care. Yeah.
Did you have your sunglasses on?
Yeah, she was right at the front from the very start and made me hold her position from time to time when she needed to use the toilet.
Yeah,
it was a real thing.
It is a thing. It is a thing. And I'm like, if anybody's got to judge me for this, I don't care. And the best bit was that Troy Tech, I was like saying, I don't know that we need to be here just yet. And I was like, don't judge me. Do not bring that energy to where I'm at right now. And then within about 3 or 4 minutes, there were about 30 people behind us. Like, told you.
Okay, you were at the front in your fave spot with your fave band and your fave people. I don't blame you at all. I would have been there for like 4 days.
Right. And because I love them. And I sang every lyric, as I always do, except for there's like a couple of songs. I think it's Tommy and Krista, right? It's one of their biggest. Everyone loves it. I don't. It's not my favorite.
Okay, I'm going to admit to you, I actually don't know Thirsty Merc.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to sing, in the summertime, baby, in the summertime, even if I have to wait. You must know that. It's Bondi Rescue. Come on. You must know that song.
What's Bondi Rescue?
Oh my God.
Guys, need I remind you, I live in actually it's not a tiny town, but I live in a regional city in Victoria. I don't have a lot of exposure to things. Yes. I'm very insulated.
I mean, Thirsty Merc, they've been around for 24 years. I have not known about them for 24 years.
I'm just too young, babe, okay?
You just so wish. How about 20 Good Reasons? How about someday I will be here, babe? No? No.
Oh,
How
goodness.
about I wish somebody would build a bridge so I can get over my...
Are you just going to sing me one of every song?
Oh, my God.
Okay,
cannot.
Did they live up to your expectations?
Yes, they always do. They were brilliant. And then I had a bit of a chat with them afterwards because I was buy merch. You've got to buy merch. If you go see an Australian band, you have to buy merch because that's actually where they get their money from and how they can generally make some money. So you buy merch. And I finally got the blue T-shirt. I keep wanting to buy the blue T-shirt in this because I've seen them multiple times. And I've never
Guys, stop the presses. Callie finally got her blue T-shirt from Thirsty Merc. It is the headline of the day. I'm not being dramatic, okay? This is trying to make up for the fact that I don't know Thirsty Merc in my excitement for you.
All right, so your homework, you always give me homework. Oh, I haven't done
Did you do my homework?
Still. I forgot.
Yeah, I thought so. Thank you to our listeners who have emailed in that they did do the homework.
Yes, thank you
all so much. We'll save it for next episode.
Yes, we'll do a next episode.
Rhys, I'm so sorry you have to be part of this.
I'm just thrown by the Bondi Rescue thing. I'm still thinking about that.
How does she not know?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sick of this judgment.
Is she even Australian?
Yeah.
No.
Is she even Australian?
Are you?
No. Yeah, no, I am, technically.
A little bit.
Okay. I'm sick of this judgment, guys. I thought this was a judgment-free zone, and I'm feeling attacked.
Okay, look, we'll let you off.
Sorry.
But your
Thanks,
homework
Rhys.
then is to go and listen to a couple of classics. Oh, sorry, I'm just crossing my legs and I'm wearing my old school Zumba pants. So they're kind of like parachute pants, a bit of ASMR, unwanted ASMR actually for that. But you have to go listen to it. And there's a couple of songs. So there's Emancipate Myself, Build a Bridge. You obviously have to listen to In the Summertime because it's the unofficial Australian anthem.
It is an Australian anthem.
Take
Baby
me back
in the summertime,
Yeah.
that is where I'll be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one. Gotcha.
Do you know it?
I do know it.
Pretending she didn't know it.
Well, I'm not going to
I
lie,
didn't even know
Callie, you
what that
sang
was.
it and it didn't ring a bell, and potentially it's your singing in that moment. I'm not putting blame anywhere. I'm just
Shade.
saying. Okay, can I
Shade
tell
on
you
my
why
singing.
I'm a
That
little
agrees.
bit sassy?
Yeah,
today?
tell me.
I'll tell you why I'm the dumb bitch, because today I did something that everybody dreads.
What?
Guess which bitch replied to an email that had a reply all in it?
Company-wide. You did
no.
company-wide. You didn't.
Company-wide
no.
response.
What did
And
you
I am
do?
already, like last week, as you know, Callie, I had a massive work week. I'm just getting back into it. I'm a fibro-foggy fucking mess, and it's Monday. And one of our teams had sent out a thing saying, does anyone want help with specialised exam assessment things? And I wrote back, and I was like, sorry, it took a while to get back to you. Happy to help out however you need me. And then as it was sending, I look in the to line, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's the entire staff body. And then I was like, I am mortified. And I had to go to my sent emails and double check what I'd written, because I was like, this could be so bad. Can I recall it? I don't know. But as I read it, I was like, okay, this is fine. It could have been so much worse.
That could have
and
been
I
way
immediately
worse.
then, it could have been way worse. I immediately then sent another all-staff email and said, apologies, everyone. Please disregard unless you are part of that team. Thank you so much.
Imagine if you'd been like, I'll help because that absolute loser in this other team will end up trying to do it, and they always stuff it up. Imagine if you'd said something like that. That would have been brilliant.
Almost, because I'm close to this team, I almost wrote in it something like, only for you guys, would never do this or volunteer outside work for anyone else. Thank God something in the universe told me, nah, you've got a lot to do, just send it and move on.
Keep this one professional.
That could have been
Yeah.
horrible. But I'm a dumb bitch today, and that's why.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
feeling
fair.
it.
Okay.
This happens every day in my company. Someone does it.
Oh,
Every day.
really?
Yeah, because they're all construction workers that don't really use computers that much.
Yeah.
That have slowly worked their way up through the ranks, and now they're the supervisor. So
Yeah.
they're just replying to an
So
email.
I could
there's
I
a lot
get
of,
promoted out
there's a
of
lot
this?
of boomer energy in this. Not for you, for me and my
That was
side.
like a knife to the heart.
I know. Not for you. But
I thought we were friends.
that's why it happens daily at my end. And it's really good.
Okay.
It's really funny. It's we always screenshot and send it. And
My team got a laugh out of it, so thank you for reassuring me.
Yes.
Hopefully I won't be as much of a dumb bitch moving forward today.
So is my T-shirt fairly accurate then for today?
It's an accurate Monday t-shirt.
It's a
yes.
fucking hell. Yeah. So this is my installation, Mariciano. I bought it. It's one of hers. Fucking hell.
and where do you wear that t-shirt?
Everywhere.
Well, actually, so PB was telling Uncle Rhys all about how I wore this T-shirt. So PB goes to a pretty bougie school here. Talked about it before. The public school system broke her a little bit, so we ended up having to pay for her to go to a private school, acknowledging our privilege on that. But I was so nervous about meeting all the mums and everything. And they had, when she first started there, they had this whole picnic for the beginning of school year type of thing. And it was all of these mums from this really bougie school. And I was running around. We were running really late to it. I'd been wearing this T-shirt in the morning and meant to get changed. Anyway, rock up to this picnic with a bunch of they're year 3. So there would have been, 8 or something like that. All these 8-year-olds and all these really bougie mums.
Oh
And
no.
there's me rocking up wearing this fucking hell t-shirt.
That is fantastic.
Starts me to go on, I reckon.
I love us. Okay, I'm not a dumb bitch anymore. It's just a normal thing.
It is. It's a totally normal thing. It is fine.
We should
All
talk
right.
every day. That made me feel heaps better. Thanks,
you know
guys.
what? I've
It happens.
really-
We do these things.
Yeah, I've
Thanks,
really
Rhys.
missed you, babes. We have spoken so much less than we usually speak, and it is not acceptable. Like, we both need to just take a long, hard look at our workloads and the things that other people that maybe pay us money are requiring us to do.
I really
it's
think
not
that
okay.
work taking all my time and energy is just rude. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
I'm very angry about
I
it.
know it's not okay. Now, look, it's really good to catch up, but we really should get to the heart of what we're here for. So I found out from Uncle Rhys last night that he had actually, about a few years ago, been part of something pretty aligned with what we do and pretty freaking phenomenal, actually, if I'm honest, called Dragged in the Minds. Is that right?
That's right.
Do you want to tell us about that?
Well, there was I used to work. I lived in Karratha. I was up in the Pilbara for quite a while, as most construction workers do. And I ran into a creative friend of mine named Jamie Barber. They are an incredible person, just doing all sorts of things within the community and things within her school. She's got kids, and she just put an ad online that she needed 5 men and five blokes, 5 chicks. Let's go do some cross-dressing, and we're going to call it Drag to the Minds. And nobody really knew what it was about. And I don't think she exactly knew either when she started it, but she knew it was going to be open some sort of conversations, and it was going to be different between every person. But at first, it was about masculinity in the minds and masculinity in the Pilbara in general and how toxic and shitty it can be. But it slowly sort of changed quite quickly. There was a spate of suicides in the Pilbara, and especially in mining. There was 7 in that halfway through the year, and I knew 6 of them. So it was quite,
wow.
Yeah, it was extraordinary.
That's huge.
Yeah. The 7th guy I'd worked with at another place, but yeah, they just happen way too often and way too soon. And if it took me to don a dress to stick this on the fridge to get people to say, "What the fuck did you do that for?" then so be it.
Yeah.
So we did, and it was all filmed, and it was taken over a period of a few days, a day here and a day there and a day there. And at the end of it, she released this thing, and it got picked up by the Pilbara News, and then it got picked up by ABC, then it got picked up by Daily Mail UK, and it went quite viral, which was fantastic. So I don't know where else it went other than that, but all of a sudden I was doing a bunch of radio interviews and things, and I think she's got a photo of it here on her phone. I don't know if you can see it
That
or
is
not, but-
amazing.
So we will put it in the show notes,
I
but
can't
this
see it.
is Rhys. Yes.
Yes,
That's the
queen.
ABC article, right?
Love this.
Yeah, it's really, really great. And, you know, obviously just acknowledging that the topic around suicide can be triggering for some people. I'm not sure how far we'll go into that topic, but there will potentially be some touching on that, you know, during this conversation. It's actually really, really important that we don't shy away from that, but just preparing you. If this is not for you today, that's fine. But also, if it does ring anything for you, you know, we'll put some resources and some support, phone numbers and things in the show notes too. So please do make sure you get help if you need to. We know that in the neurodivergent space, for example, mental health is often, you know, goes hand in hand with a lot of those
Closely
neurodivergent. Yeah, and a lot of neurodivergent experiences. And it's really important that men often aren't as equipped necessarily. You know, the way that we socialize men is not as helpful for people who are then struggling with mental health. And certainly the mining cultures, I don't know anything about it, but what I assume of it, and in those really remote parts of WA or Western Australia for our overseas listeners, there is a real culture of, or certainly seems to be a real culture of, you're stoic. You have to be, you know, suffer in silence, as it were. And I wouldn't let Rhys tell me anything else about it other than I saw that photo and what it was called last night, because I wanted to learn about it today with the listeners, with you as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really keen to hear a little bit more. And the focus today, we know that depression and anxiety fall under our neurodivergence invitation. They are part of the neurodivergent community, people who struggle with those things. And so we figured today that's what we're going to talk about, is that side of things, and particularly as well for men and how men can get that support. And, you know, obviously, Rhys, you own your narrative, you own your story and how you choose to tell it. So, you know, you show up today exactly how you want to, and that is, we believe really strongly in that. Nobody ever gets asked to say anything they're not comfortable with. So,
I'm really glad that you just gave that context, Callie, because I was going to say, I'm not familiar with the Pilbara region, and I don't think any of our international or people who don't mind people would know. And I'm not familiar with the culture that goes along with all of what you were talking about in mining. And that's such a significant rate of completion of suicide that I think it's really important for us to maybe get a bit of a picture around what you're dealing with when you're in that highly condensed, right, environment where you're all in this all the time.
Hugely condensed, yeah. Everything is exacerbated. Every feeling that you have, every meal that you have, everything, you're surrounded by people all the time. But until that moment that you get back to your donga and you're in a shoebox, you know.
I'm sorry, what's a donga?
It's your camp accommodation. It's a 3 metre by 2 metre room with a single bed on the side of it and a bar fridge at the other end.
That's it?
And that's it.
That
Not
sounds
off to the
awful.
side
It's
of that.
like a
there's
cell.
sliding door with a toilet at one end and a shower at the other. So they are very, very, very small rooms.
And they're really long days, right?
Yeah, so it's 12 hours on site at a minimum. So you do 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on site and you travel in your own time. So often that bus ride can be 30 minutes, can be 35, can be 45 at the moment. Our guys in Kalgoorlie are travelling about 45 minutes each way. So if you're a leading hand or a supervisor, you tend to do an hour or so more than that a day at a minimum. So it can be really, really long days. And it used to be 4 weeks on, 1 week off. And that's when most of these unfortunate events were happening. So the unions they got involved quite heavily when we were working on Barrow Island. And they got it down to 21 days on and 9 days off. So we're talking 28 days straight, 12-hour days. All you do is work and then you go sit in your little shoebox.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
if you don't do anything social, I've found, you know, if you don't go, whether it's have a beer, but there's not much to do, you know. So there's a tennis court and there's a basketball court, but it can be freezing cold sometimes, or it can be extraordinarily hot. So you've been working in 50-degree heat at Marble Bar, some of the hottest places on Earth, not just in Australia, but they're 48-degree days. So everything is exhausting, but they've slowly realised that these long swings away, that's what's hurting us. So they've whittled it down. Now we do mostly 2 weeks on, 1 week off. However, there is still some that are 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
Wow.
And when you're in that environment, so I know I can go to work and I can talk to people and I can make connections and I can be social whilst I am working. Is that an opportunity when you're...
Absolutely, it is. And I'm a spicy little guy, so I've done a lot of stage stuff and a lot of music stuff, and I find it quite easy to talk to people, right? So it's not a problem for me. But I'm a bit of a leader in the field now, so I tend to recognise the people that aren't, and I try and make it my, you know, I really do feel these people out. I know everyone's name on site. I know their partners' names. I know their children's names, and you've got to reach out to these guys because if you don't, they will never put it out there themselves. And as Kelly just said, the word stoic was absolutely that was spot on. It's still a blokey bloke place full of blokes, even though there's a lot more of both sexes now and intersex and everyone in between. Actually, to be honest, so it's a lot more welcoming than it used to be. It's still a tough thing to do, and you are away from your home all the time. You're away from your families. So it's because we're a lot more connected than we used to be in regards to the phones and Facebook and you know, Instagram, and just being able to video call when you get home, and that's really healthy. But previously you couldn't do that much. The internet didn't really exist out there, so you're on your own. You just got to talk it out, and you'll see people still dining alone. You can't change everyone.
No, and I hadn't thought of the internet for that use case on that as well. Like that is something then that has obviously really improved.
It has. The Wi-Fi's improved significantly across the camps, but generally on site, no internet. So you go on 14-hour days. You know, if your kid gets hurt at school or, you know, breaks their leg, you won't know about it till the end of the shift.
Right. Okay. Wow. And so you talked about the the dongas that you basically have.
Donga, correct.
So that's an interesting word.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you kind of live in for that 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I used to know somebody who was a personal trainer who used to fly in, fly out of Adelaide to WA as a personal trainer. We're just going to let the motorbike go past. Sorry about that.
Is there a plane on top of your house?
It felt like it, yes. Okay. But yeah, so there was, I know they used to do that, but I'm assuming that there's opportunities other than just the meal room for you to have social interaction, or, I mean, obviously for those who'll take it.
Yep, depends on the camp. I think some of these larger mining companies have realised how important this stuff is. So there's one it's called South Flank. It's a really big one. It's a big BHP one. They've got a library, they've got a music room, they've got games room. The library itself's huge, just comes with a bunch of desktop computers that you can do your life admin stuff, because life admin can be really hard, especially if you're single like I am. It's hard to, every time I go, like I'll get home and I'll miss a parking ticket, and if I miss it that one and I miss it the next one, then bang, I'm up for a couple more. But it's not just parking tickets. I'm talking about.
It's hard enough when you're not in a mine.
I know.
I can't imagine how hard that would be.
But you can, that's everything. That's your water bills, your rates, all of your life admin all falls on you. And if you're not home to get it, then what do you? I don't know.
What do you do?
There's so many different little variables. But yeah, there is other things to do. So like the library, and there's a lot of sports things, but not always. The camp we're at right now. There is a gym, and that's the only facility, and then a small bar. There's nothing else. We are in town, however, there is a 9 p.m. curfew. So you can get we get back about 6:30, have a shower, you're out by about 7. So you can actually go out for dinner, but you've only got 2 hours. If you don't get back in by 9 p.m., then they send you home, and you lose your accommodation, and you lose your job.
Oh, my God.
That's
a lot of pressure.
It's right next to the Kalgoorlie's largest prison, and it feels kind of like it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so like deadlines are a hard motivator for us neurosparkly people a lot of the time. So maybe that's good, but this whole time you've been talking, I've been thinking from a neurodiverse perspective. Also, it looks like I've got no hand because I'm cold and my hand just wrapped in my jumper. I just distracted myself with that. From a neurodiverse perspective, I can't imagine how hard that would be if you are sensorily overwhelmed, too tired to get up, can't function that day. I have so much flexibility with my job and my life that I have built around the fact that I need this stuff. Do you ever observe that in anyone, or is it just you have to keep going, you have to move on, you have to meet the curfew kind of?
You just have to, otherwise you don't have the job. It's not optional.
And I guess you would self-select yourself out of that type of job, right? You wouldn't put yourself in. Although I wonder how many people go into mental health or neurodivergent crises almost whilst in the space. And it's when you hit the crisis, it's awful and terrible, but there can be a long build-up, right? So what happens there? Like, are there supports and things in place?
There are. We like all employment places, we have people that we can call, and we have people sense and different, and our families can be looked after as well if they need to call these numbers, and that's fine.
Like employee assistance programs type things.
Exactly. Yeah. And if we have, if somebody has a day off, then they'll get a welfare check.
Yeah.
This is pretty common across the board now, and it's something that I really wish didn't have to fucking exist, but it does. So if you just call in sick, or if you don't show up, no matter what, somebody's going to knock on your door at 10 a.m. that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're also going to breathalyse you, though.
Oh,
yeah.
So make sure if you've been drinking the night before and you're drinking again, you lose your job. So you can't have a drink on your day off.
Oh, so you have to be completely alcohol-free.
Yeah, alcohol-free. Well, you can.
Forever.
But you have to, the next day, if you're taking a day off because you've been drinking, then, yeah. Well,
I mean, you've only got 2 hours at the pub anyway.
You've only got but it happens. It happens very easily.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is such an interesting environment. As somebody who's never been into an environment like that, I guess then, so those things are there as a bit of a safety net in case somebody is really struggling and they've taken a day off and they can be caught, is the hope, right?
Exactly.
The intention of that.
Yeah.
And I guess what is there, as a preventative? Is there any form of mental health support or neurodivergent support or anything else? Or is it a case of, we were talking last night and we talked about the that choosing your own mindset, and you talked about the Danish person or the European person.
The skier.
Is it just the skier? That's it.
Yeah.
Is it just that you're expected to be able to manage yourself? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, it's these shorter rosters are come under a fatigue management policy now, which is written into our WA laws. But other than that, no. The short answer is no. There's nothing. No.
Okay.
You're on your own.
There's no early intervention strategies.
None.
And what happened after the Dragged in the Mines project? Or Dragged to the Mines, whichever one's called.
I don't know if the data went down. However, it was right at that time when the union was fighting to get it down to 3 weeks on instead of 4 weeks on, which is great. I don't know if it had any effect on that, but it went pretty viral. So I really am hoping so. But just reducing the time away from, I think that alone
had a massive impact.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's too long. It's way too long.
Yeah.
We used to work through, so you'd work through that week off, and you do a 9-week swing. Yeah. So you do 9 weeks in the box.
Oh my gosh. And without the internet or being able to contact your family regularly?
Not really, nah.
That would be
But there was
horrific.
open bar back then, so it was just party night every night. So.
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely helped, because we all know that alcohol is a very healthy coping mechanism. Yeah.
You can have 4 mid-strength beers. You need your ID, but you can have 4 mid-strength beers at camp. At all camps across WA now.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
that's all you can. That's a limit.
The PDA part of me is like, don't tell me how many I can have. I'll have as many as I damn well want.
Try telling a 55-year-old concreter named Russell the same thing. You know, it didn't go down well at first, but now everybody's used to it. And unfortunately, that one was there because there was a lot of violence on site, and there was violence against women.
Okay,
on
I
site.
can imagine.
So there was there's some triggering stuff there, unfortunately, as well. But these rules have been put in place, and they've made the mines a safer place to be for everyone.
That is excellent. And it's fascinating getting the slightest little bit of insight into that. I have been to Kalgoorlie, believe it or not.
Have you?
Yeah, I did the Indo-Pacific train. I went from
nice.
Adelaide to Perth a few years back.
Yeah.
And we stopped and we went through a place called Cook that had the great big sign up saying, "Get sick, the hospital needs your help." Type of Cook Hospital needs your help. And then in Kalgoorlie, I met some skimpies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so skimpies for those. So yeah, skimpies are basically topless waitresses, right? Like that, and it's all very much don't touch. In fact, topless. They're not even topless. They wear lingerie.
Just bikinis.
Yeah, it's like lingerie, right? But
nearly every second pub in WA, mind you, not just Kalgoorlie.
Still?
Yeah, okay.
Still, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the only state that does it. It's a bit odd to
Do
me.
I even live in Australia? I'm really starting to doubt that today.
WA is quite unique for it. But I remember
No
when we
pokies,
went through
though.
it, no pokies, which is a bonus.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
In
I
all of
remember,
WA?
At the casino there is, yeah. I'm from regional Victoria too, so all this was a bit of a mind fuck as well. But,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
thank you
learning.
for confirming that, because I'm feeling very foreign right now.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I remember Kalgoorlie used to be, skimpies were what Kalgoorlie used to be really famous for, right?
Still is.
Yeah, and I remember meeting this British person who was working as a skimpy, and it feels so derogatory to say it, but I think it's actually claimed as a term of almost like a pride thing, in a way, right? Yeah. And the security was like, you don't touch them. There is no like inappropriate behaviour with them. And I remember, and I was on this train and I just started speaking as you do. She paid off her entire university debt in less than 12 months. I legitimately, Jane, cannot tell you, I considered it. I was like,
I'm
go
not gonna
on
lie,
the
I'm
beach
considering it now.
in less clothing than you are wearing right now. I'm here for this. I can do this.
Okay, so
I'd
new
do
career
it.
change.
I would do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
I'm just not
New
hot
career
enough.
change for all of us.
Look, I'm just saying we are not recommending this for any of our young female or otherwise listeners.
This is not career advice.
no.
We are just speculating our careers.
However, it's nothing to be ashamed of and certainly nothing to sniff at, right? Like when you're
Good
earning
for
that level of
her.
money, right? So So yeah, I think it's interesting. It's another indicator of that very masculine culture, right? And there's a lot of talk at the moment around toxic masculinity and various other criticisms of masculine culture, and I think that really simplifies the real and long-term challenge there has been in men's mental health. And I think back to I used to be a police officer, as you know, very, very male-dominated environment. But again, the death by suicide risk in police was really high in male police officers, just being clear, male police officers was really high. And when I first moved to Australia, I was really surprised how many were unfortunately, successful to complete suicide with their own firearms. And it was just because we didn't have firearms in the UK, you can imagine. And it's just terrifying. So I'm really keen, how do we, in our space even, what can we offer in regards to that male mental health piece? How can we as a man, how do you, and I'm realize I'm kind of talking out loud or thinking out loud a bit because you are very emotionally aware and very emotionally intelligent, right? Like you're very comfortable in who you are.
Yes, I've gotten I think look, it's in its infancy still. I think we're going to look back on today 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now and think that we've made some mistakes. But we look, there was something else. Again, I mentioned this earlier. Like I was very pro-union when I'm Victorian, and I still am, to be honest, even though I'm changed, over to the dark side and become a supervisor and into management now. But I think it has its place, and it's always been about risk assessments. Always been about risk assessments and how to. I think that more the first ever blockage again, the first ever union stoppage in 10, 15 years has just happened. This 3 days ago, and it happened at the Pilbara port of Port Hedland. So the ETU, the electricians, have pulled up stumps and they've stopped work for a few days, and it'll be over something significant. It'll be over wages, or it'll be over something safety related. But that is the way back in, I think. I think it has to be because these companies they do the bare minimum.
It's all about profit, right?
It's all about profit.
It was capitalism all along.
And they want to be seen to be doing the right thing. Don't get me wrong. We don't hurt people. We have some of the best safety standards and safety culture in the world. We were really good at not killing people on site anymore. So it's quite a safe place to work. Our safety factors are huge. They're like 20 to 1 in some things. It's ridiculous. It's over and above. So I think we just keep going, to be honest.
And if you're oh, sorry, Jayne, go on.
No, that's okay. I'm just going to raise my hand like a child. So, Rhys, my mind is pinging on a lot of things because I was a social worker and I work in the legal sector now. And I've done a bit of research recently around rates of neurodiversity in incarcerated individuals, things like AuDHD and autism not being recognised that leads to social inequities and access to justice and all those kind of things. And I know that there are things around the prison system has regular routines and regular things that you need to do. It's got lockdown times, it's got camaraderie. I know that it's not ideal to be in prison. Obviously, I'm not saying it is. But for some people with neurodiversity, it is good to have that routine in place. And when you were talking before, it kind of reminded me of that where when someone leaves the prison system and they walk out and they no longer have access to any of that, they don't know what to do. And a lot of reoffending rates or recidivism activates. So I'm thinking potentially, is there something that we could do as a community, as our neurosparkly besties, or anyone that we know that listens, around supporting those who are in our communities when they're not on site to help them? Because that would be such a massive adjustment week on, week off. Would be.
And I think there's probably, for lack of a better term, to put it into a hole in the market, if you will, because there's nothing at the moment. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I read a study not long ago about when prisoners go in for, call it 10 years, when they come out, they're mentally quite the same age because of the plainness and the routineness and the dullness of it all. And it was really significant. And the exact same thing happens to minors. So we do these 3 weeks on, 4 weeks on, and we only do a week off back in our community. All we do is sleep, and then we go out and get drunk and get high, or whatever the miners do on their time off.
Yeah.
For the first weekend, and then you do your family stuff, and you take the kids to school, and then bang, you're back out on site again, and in this weird, small clique group of,
Isolation.
Heavily isolated, extreme isolation. Yeah.
And so I think I'd really like to think about then, if you imagine that we're talking now to maybe some of our male listeners who, who knows what the rest of their makeup looks like, but maybe they're male listeners, maybe they mind, maybe they don't, maybe they are neurodivergent, maybe they're not, maybe they're struggling, or they know they're struggling with their mental health, maybe they don't. If we imagine we're talking to some of our male listeners now, what would be the first or the early warning signs that maybe they might be able to be aware of to start reaching out to maybe people around them? And I'm going to double barrel the question, sorry, because the second part of it is, and if they're not comfortable or don't have the language or don't know how to, how might they then start doing that?
It's withdrawal. It's always withdrawal, I feel. You can tell. People just go quiet. Yeah.
Okay.
People that don't talk much, you can tell they go even quieter, and they just, and then they go about their job and they disappear. Not disappear, they'll just be over there working away, not talking, and then overnight they'll just go straight back to their room. You don't ever see them on the phone. Once you start withdrawing from your family and your friends and you don't book things in for your time off, and the other half of that is how do you, as an individual, how do you look after that yourself? You just, it's the 101, isn't it? You've just got to talk. You have to talk to someone. Talk to your colleague, talk to your workmate, talk to your supervisor. Your supervisor's heard all this sort of stuff before, I believe. Like I've got, nearly 100 people sort of around all the time that I'm not directly in control of, but very much so. There's always someone that you just have to say something to someone. Your friend at home, your mum, your dad,
there's
whoever
no
it might
shame
be.
in it, right?
There is no shame.
No
in it.
shame.
And just say, shit, I don't feel so good. That's just I don't feel so good. That little sentence alone will get you a long way.
Absolutely.
Do you think sometimes if they've withdrawn, it's even helpful to just, pardon me, talk to someone, even if it's small talk, and you just find a little glimmer of connection? Do you think?
Absolutely.
If someone's struggling, just start with the
something.
small talk. Start with reaching out to anybody.
The small talk that's exactly what it is. Yep, you're right on the money. Yeah.
Okay.
But again, this is just one uneducated miner's advice, so please don't
You're
take
very
this gospel.
educated on this.
I was going to say, I don't think there's a one but I think that small talk piece that feels like there's something in that, that we, just do the small talk, and the small talk could actually be huge.
It can be. I think you'll find the more you think you're on your own, the more that you'll find out that you're not, and that we're all in the shit together, unfortunately, sometimes.
We always talk about in neuro-inclusion, right? We always talk about have the conversations before there's any problems. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if, and if this is stupid, tell me, but I wonder if there is a way you can almost, if you're a man or you are somebody who goes off to these environments, and as I say, it doesn't have to be mining. If you are just a human being listening to this podcast even, right? Let's pull it right back to that. Have you ever had the conversation with your loved ones, with your village, whoever they are, whether they are your mates down the pub, your footy team, maybe they are your family, either way, to say, hey, if any of us ever have tough times coming up, what's the one key phrase? Or is there a way we can signal to each other that we are not doing great? And it could be anything, right? So I remember seeing I think we talked about this before, Jayne, of 7 seconds, right? That it takes 7 seconds to make a difference in someone's life. And so after reading that, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Simon Sinek or someone like that, but I sent out to all of my friends, all of my girlfriends it was actually, I'll be honest, but I sent out, if you ever need 7 seconds, give me those words. Tell me I just need 7 seconds, and I will know you don't just need a catch up. We're not, because what happens is we say, hey, have you got, would love to have a chat, or let me know when you're free to a catch up or whatever. But I would not know that they, and I've been the same. I've sent that. I've sent that to my girlfriend.
This is a real thing, isn't it? Because I've heard this.
Yeah. You can send it, and so my girlfriends and I now, we all know if one of us ever says anything that involves the word 7 seconds, that's it. We drop whatever we're doing and we are there, but they don't have to explain. They don't.
I love that it's like a secret mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
And I think sometimes we need to not have to, because sometimes when you are, I know that I've definitely been in this thing when I'm like, I just feel awful. I'm just not having a good time. And I can say that to my girlfriends and they'll be like, do you want to talk? Do you want to call? And I'd be like, no, because I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't want, it's almost then the cognitive load and then having to manage their reaction to it or, do you know, whatever, right? So I think having some code would, what do you reckon? Could it be?
That would definitely work. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it's got to be really individual though, doesn't it? Like,
absolutely.
Especially with the,
Yeah.
And I feel like, sorry, you go. I didn't mean to interrupt you then.
I don't know where I was going with it, but I think that would definitely work. Yeah, and just I'm not doing well. It could be as simple as that, But I do like the secrecy of it. I think you were like, "Oh, spicy sounds like a mission." I'm into that too.
A little 007 mission. Should you choose to accept it?
007 seconds.
007 seconds.
Yeah. And also small talk. It's only 7 seconds. That feels small. Yeah. That feels achievable. Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate small talk though.
A really good question or a follow-up question is like that I got from, I think I got it from you, to be honest. Do you want to talk about the thing or do you want to talk about something else? And if they say something else, then it's my shitty dating life at the moment. So there's heaps of stories I can go on.
Okay, I totally want the tea.
Also,
later.
Rhys did say he was single. I'm just saying.
Are we putting that out there? Are we now a dating
That was 7 seconds ago. That's
Okay, that was 8 seconds ago. It's so 8 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Just to close out that, I think sometimes I find that when I get to the point that I'm withdrawn, it's not early intervention anymore.
No.
So I probably by that point have said I am not okay so many times. And it's really hard because people hear that and they're not quite sure what to say and they're not quite sure how to deal with it. People aren't comfortable sitting in the uncomfortable. Yeah. So I know when I get to the point of withdrawn or completely like... what's her name? Martha Stewart, Good Housewife. I can do all of it. I can bake all the time and I'm not sleeping and that's okay because I'm good. I'm hiding it all. So by that point, if I have someone that says, do you need 7 seconds? And I don't have to say anything, just know that someone's there for me. I know that would make a huge, huge difference.
Yeah. For me, sometimes I just want to be able to sit in silence with someone, but just not sit in silence on my own. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to talk about it.
You just want to be.
Yeah, and I just want to be in the same space with someone else. So you said something last night as well, like I mentioned it earlier about the skier. Can you tell me that? Because I think we've played around this a little bit, Jayne, but when he said, I don't know, tell me what you reckon.
It's an interview that's popped up. It's on quite a lot of reels. I can't remember exactly. I think she's Canadian, or possibly American, but she gets asked, she's quite young, and somebody asked her a really interesting question, and it was along the lines of, it was quite long-winded, but do you actually think when you speak? And she meant it in a really nice way because she speaks so eloquently and she's really quite hyper intelligent, it seems. And she says that first she thanks her for the question, says it's wonderful, thank you very much. Yeah, that's her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she just says, well, she goes on this quite amazing, weird tangent about neuroplasticity and how young she is, and she can literally think what she is, and she can be what she thinks, and she can just. I don't know. It was a really open-ended question. It was a really open-ended answer, and I think the answer was no. I don't really. Okay. I don't think she thinks before she talks because she just does it so fast. But I think the point of it was that she could. You can think any way you want. If you want to think your way into happiness, you can. If you want to think your way into depression, then you're probably going to. But it's all about doing the work and putting the work in. You know, if you didn't know this stuff beforehand, if you didn't read it, if you don't know about it, then you've got no idea how in control of yourself you are.
Yeah, and so it's Eileen Gu, and actually I've seen that a little bit on Instagram as well. I've seen some of this interview, and I think it's where I think it's really powerful is that sometimes we can feel victim to our emotions, feel passive, and that's how we feel, and there's nothing we can do about it. And, you know, I think that balance between the validity of the very real mental health struggles that people have, right? They are valid, they are real, that is a given. But I know that when I speak with people, I get asked about resilience a lot, especially lately after talking about it recently, and I've been being asked more and more and more. And one of the things that I said, it was just my reality, which seems to have resonated, was, you know, how do you always manage to get up? How do you manage to be resilient? And I was like, because what's the alternative? You know, and because you just have to. And I think sometimes there is an internal struggle against that of, no, why do I have to? I shouldn't have to, you know. But just because you shouldn't have to, you kind of still do. And I'm such a big believer in neuroplasticity, you know, and I think when you were talking about it, that's what really resonated for me, because it was like, yeah, we actually do have, I feel the last 10 years or so, we've really moved a little bit too much toward the validity piece and validating feelings and validating experiences. And we need to get the balance right of, we validate, that shouldn't stop, but at the same time, don't give up your control and your ability. And sometimes it's not being toxic positive to do that, to say, you know what, today I am going to choose to find something good. I'm going to choose to see something positive. And if you get that support or strength from a self-help book, fucking embrace that. Roll around in the pages of The Secret or whatever it is that you're going to get your support from.
If it's your daily gratitude, get it from that.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
You meditate.
I do. I do. Yeah.
I do not, cannot, tried.
I would kill someone. I cannot sit there in silence.
Yeah, well, it didn't come naturally to me, let me tell you. It was hard.
Yeah. Well, good for you. I love that you stayed with it.
I'm still not fucking good at it, but I try.
You might get better. Our catchphrase is, maybe we'll get better. Who knows?
It's the breathe in, breathe out. It's just stopping the noise for a moment that I enjoy.
I used to meditate when I ran, and I didn't know it. Long before I knew I was neurodivergent, I used to count every step.
Oh.
Yep.
That
We're
sounds
spicy, aren't we?
very
Did you step on any of the cracks?
They give a load of validation.
Every single step. And it was a form of meditation, and I didn't know. And I also didn't know I was autistic, so that's fine.
That feels very... Do you know, this reminds me of a Brooklyn Nine-Nine moment when he says he counts steps in his head all day like a normal person. And I remember watching that going...
remember that.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that scene and going, why is that funny, though?
Doesn't everyone?
I definitely don't.
I don't.
But can I just say, I love this and the neuroplasticity thing. I think it's so valid and so real.
It really is.
And I feel like I've seen examples of this. Like, you know, Callie, and listeners will know, I've dealt with fibromyalgia, sorry. And I have had lots of setbacks, but mostly I'm working with my therapists and my specialist to not have it control my narrative anymore. I don't even call it fibro when we're talking about it now. We call it Jeffrey, because who can be afraid of a Jeffrey?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even last week when I ran this massive conference and I was exhausted and in pain and people were coming at me, I was sensorily overwhelmed. It was heaps. But I had managed to celebrate the tiny wins along the way, which we talked about in our last recording.
Yeah.
Those tiny wins meant that on the day, even though my body was screaming, my brain was so calm and I was so okay and in the moment and enjoying it.
Yeah.
That I walked away afterwards and went, I think I genuinely feel better about this conference than I did my own wedding.
Yeah.
Which was so strange.
But
And people were like, what the fuck, Jane? And I was like, it's the tiny wins. It's my brain
Yes.
and the neuroplasticity in it of having practiced the tiny wins and the gratitude and the reframing and stuff for quite a while now. And I continue to, and it's a journey and I'm not great at it all the time. Literally started this by calling myself a dumb bitch today. I did that. I did that, guys.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much power in what you're saying.
I have found my resilience has suffered the most, and my ability to get through has suffered the most when I'm kind to myself. The kinder I am and the more I let myself feel my feelings and whatever, that's when they hurt me more.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not saying that's for everyone, but when I allow myself to wallow in them or to, give myself grace. Now, people who've listened to this podcast for a long time know that I'm all about giving yourself grace, right? But when I it's the balance. When I let myself think about, but this isn't fair, and you're right, I have been through a lot, and this is terrible. It just builds, and that's the narrative then. So I think if you'll remember, I can't remember if we ever said this on the podcast, but at the beginning of this year, I decided I wasn't doing that anymore. I decided I was going to have a better year this year. I was done with and I think I invited possibly you and a couple of other people. I was like, do you know what? I'm changing my narrative. I'm going back to the narrative that I've always had before of I am resilient. I am going to get through this. And you know what? Yes, it's shit, but so is everybody's. You know what I mean? And just kind of going, I'm just not. And I've never been one to wallow overly, but the times when I let myself feel sad or talk about the anxiety, talk about blah, 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 the overwhelm, talk about any of those things, as soon as I start talking about them, they become real.
Yeah.
And then they become bigger. Yeah. And so I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Anyway, it's been working for me this year so far. But
amazing. So what you're hearing is that we are perfect and our mental health is really great. And
compartmentalization is... oh, God, we're not medical professionals. Oh, my God.
Did I detach while I was at the conference last week? Maybe. Who would know? Yeah. We're totally healthy, professional, mental, people.
We're having a good year. Let's keep going.
Yes.
We're doing a good job.
We're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job.
Oh, thank you. I was like, okay, you guys have your moment. I'll just be over here doing a bad job. But I think this is really wonderful and something that we can help remind people in our communities if we meet. Actually, no, I'll ask you this, Rhys, because I'm not going to summarize it. What do you think is one thing we could do if we meet someone in the community who does do mind work or something similar where even if they don't do mind work, they're struggling? Or we look at them and we go, something's a little bit different. What do you think we could do?
It's gentle, but you got to ask them the hard questions, I think. But gently, if there's just ask them how they're doing. Do you get time to talk to your family much? Is there anything social that you do on site, or have you joined any sports teams, or have you got trivia Wednesdays? Is there something? Just leading questions to get them talking about. Maybe I'm not doing enough. That's what I would recommend. If you know someone that it's very specific. That is withdrawal. But I'd employ you to ask anyone that works away these questions.
Yeah. Let's all ask the men in our lives. Actually, why don't we all ask the men in our lives? And one of the things that struck me hearing you just say that then, and even the question you asked, Jayne, was we kind of know there's almost that little voice that says, I should ask this, but they probably don't want me to. I might be overstepping the line, or they've probably got loads of other people asking that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that may all be true, but actually I reckon ask anyway, right? Like as you say, as long as you ask it in a kind way, in a gentle way.
And I think we're all spicy enough where most of the shit that comes out of our mouths is going to be, somewhat abrasive. No,
filtered actually.
Unfiltered, yeah. And if your listeners are anything like the rest of us, then that'll be fine. They'll expect it.
Yeah.
Like, what did you say? Oh, that's right.
But I work with people when I coach them, and I tell them to script things, right? Do little mini scripts whenever you're not sure, right? It feels awkward as fuck, but once you've done it a few times and you've practiced it, it actually works really well. And it could be a case of, if there's someone and you don't know how to ask them, well, write yourself a little script, and it's the what is it that you're wanting or what you're trying to find out. Why and what is the effect it's going to have on whatever the outcome is, right? So they're kind of things like why is it good for the person you're asking is the third part there. What is their WIFM? What's in it for me? You can create almost a script of, hey, I've noticed you seem to be a little bit quieter lately, and I'm just wondering if there's something going on. Look, you probably have 17 other people in your village that you could talk to about this rather than me, but I wanted to ask anyway because I'm just worried that you may be not.
That's a good script,
okay.
by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think
Thanks.
there's a little
I get paid to do
mini
shit like that.
I know.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Everyone, please pay Callie to do shit like that. I think there's a little mini challenge in here for our listeners as well to take that little step into the uncomfortable and sit with it.
Yeah.
Because that's where the magic happens when you're dealing with people.
Yeah, it really does. All of the magic happens in the uncomfortable places. And if you're in a good spot, chances are you know someone who isn't. And you can, while your bucket's full, you can dip into that a little bit to help someone else's bucket maybe.
I think Bob Ross said it best. You can't have a little sunshine without a little rain.
Yeah.
Have you seen that clip? Oh, gets me every time.
Yeah.
It's right in the money. You know the painter guy with the fuzzy hair?
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, there's some more homework for you, Jane.
God, I've got so much homework, guys.
We'll
Now
start
listen.
Bondi Rescue and then we'll
Oh,
Yeah.
what's Bondi Rescue?
Yeah, you probably might
Stop
like it,
it.
I think.
Oh my God.
You can't. I can't. I'm going to
Is
take
this
your
a TV
Australia
thing?
card. Yes.
Please do.
It's been around for about, I think I used to watch it in England before I immigrated 20 years ago, all right? So it's been around for a while.
Wait.
10.
Is this the, like, Baywatch reality
Yes.
TV show? Okay.
Yes.
I know it.
Yep.
Yeah, where all the tourists end up going to Bondi
That's the one.
and then they all nearly drown. Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
People that can't swim.
yeah.
Okay.
In the rip. Yeah.
I
All right,
might watch
so-
that. I'm never going to watch that, guys, just so you know.
All right, so besties, this one's it's felt like 3 minutes, but it's actually been an hour that we've been
Oh.
chatting about this now. So we're going to wrap it up there. And listen, thank you, Rhys, so much for coming in.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's
Thanks for having me.
It's been just joyful. Joyful's probably the
Joyful
wrong
feels
word.
like a
It's
weird
been-
word there.
It's
It's been
'cause
enlightening.
It's felt like it's, when your heart just feels like it grows a little bit. That's
Yeah.
what I mean by joyful.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
I feel like we can be kinder to the people around us because we had this conversation.
And to
So
the men
thank you.
particularly, this is a focus on men on
Yeah.
this episode, and that's okay, right? So I think we get to say to the men around us, so besties, if you're listening to our male besties or male identifying besties, if you're not okay, we're here.
Yeah.
All right. And while we are parasocial at best for most of you, fthemfish@gmail.com. Maybe we can help send you some resources if you need to reach out to someone, okay? If you know a lovely man in your life, then please reach out to them. Maybe write a little script to ask them if they're okay for now. Yeah. And importantly, are you okay?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think you and I are on the same page here. I'm having a good year this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you seem to be actually. It's
I've
great.
got a lot of flights booked. I'm ready.
Yes, it's going to be amazing.
Holidays?
I've got a
Holidays?
Euro summer.
Hot girl summer. Love
Girl
this for
summer.
you.
I know. Slowly.
Have some hot girl dinners. Have some sangrias.
I'm going by myself too. So.
Would you ever bring the drag back out for social events?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Would you
I mean,
ever
it is
take your
Pride
neuro-
Month.
Oh. And would you ever take your neurodivergent besties with you on your hot girl summer in Europe?
Oh, of course I would. Yes.
Okay, guys, we might be
absolutely.
podcasting from Europe this
Yes,
summer
where are
or
we going
winter
first?
here.
Here for it.
We're looking forward to this. Thank you, Rhys. We can't wait.
Are you paying?
This sounds expensive. What have I? I don't know.
Yeah,
Did I
you'll
say-
figure it out.
Too late. Yes.
Go contact your bank. We'll see you later. Thank you.
Credit card's about to get slapped, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, besties, we are going to end it there. Please come find us, FThenFish_AuDHD for Grownups on Instagram and any other place that you want to come find us. YouTube, that's a good one. If you are listening to this on your favourite podcast platform, please just look up in that little right-hand corner, it's usually, and hit the follow button. If you haven't yet given us a 5-star review, do it. Why not? I don't know why not. It really helps. Although we might say it tongue-in-cheek, it really does help to get this podcast. Just let the little algorithm know that we exist. So please do share it with a friend, especially maybe a male friend today who might need to hear some of it. And I think that's what we'd love you to do. Go listen to the back catalogue. We got this is episode 55. Yeah, get you through a long drive, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That will get you through all your flights, Rhys.
Well, look, I've got some work to do.
Yeah.
Good. Homework. Thanks,
I'm here.
Rhys.
I'm ready.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We will catch you next time.
Thanks, besties. Bye.
Bye.
They give a load of validation.